How's everybody doing? My name is Kurt Friedrich and I'm the owner-driver for CFRacing, and welcome to our 5th post-race video of the 2024 season. We got a lot to talk about. It was a very eventful weekend out at Margarettsville Speedway. But first off, I want to thank my family for coming out and supporting me. Malou, my wife Malou, and the two boys, Tad and Ty. Malou was really working hard to do what she can do to support me and help clean tires and whatever else she could that I needed to have done to get the go-kart ready for each time going out on the track. And of course, Ty sitting watching and hanging out, and then of course Tad, he pitched in and helped out a little bit as well, mainly pushing the go-kart buggy up to where I was when I came off the track. But I definitely want to thank my family for coming out and supporting me. I also want to thank our sponsors, Kristen Murphy with Meraki Realty, brokered by Real. Kristen Murphy is a real estate agent in the Richmond area. She also does a lot within the Richmond community and also supports a lot of the military members in the Richmond community. So if anybody's needing help with buying or selling a home, reach out to her. I'll put her contact information in the description, and she'd be glad to help you with your real estate needs. I also want to thank Jim's by Denny on eBay for their continued support. Jim's by Denny on eBay is an online sales website. Basically, they sell cheap gemstones and settings for buyers who want to do it yourself at home and kind of put a little bit of their own customized touch to their jewelry pieces. So we want to thank them for their continued support. I also want to thank some additional help between the two races. Mr. Gordon, he came out and helped out with the go-kart, getting it set up for the race. Sarah Hargis, he came out and helped get his go-kart ready for the race. We also took it over to Cameron Wood and helped with, from his group, Tim Hammock, with putting the go-kart on the scales and setting the go-kart up and scaling the front, or setting up the front end alignment. So I really want to thank them, all of them, for their help, having some hands-on, getting this go-kart ready for the race. And also, special thanks to Cameron Wood and his group, Tim Hammock, for all their input. I asked at the track and on Facebook, I'll message them and I talk to them regularly, and I ask questions from them, and they really try to lead me in the right direction. So I really want to thank them for their help, because really we got a lot of positives to talk about this weekend. So basically, I said in the post-race video, we've done a lot of work on this go-kart, trying to make some changes and make improvements, and we did just that. The track itself was very challenging. There was a bump in turn 3 that was very challenging for us to get through. I learned in the last race, at the end of the day, that basically I had to put the go-kart on the very bottom of the corner to get around that bump, but still turn 3 was very challenging. The go-kart would slide out, the back end will kick out and slide of the track. A lot of people spinning out in that turn throughout the day. During practice and stuff, I spun out. And then just still overall learning the track. Margarettsville right now is a very challenging track for me. It's very sandy, very loose, and a lot of people have a lot of trouble on it, and it took me pretty much all day long to really kind of figure out how to get around it. As far as the go-kart, how it was handling, very responsive. I felt like I could really manhandle a lot more. Felt very neutral. Over the long runs, it didn't get tight like it had been in the past. So all of those were positives in the right direction. I haven't crunched the numbers yet for where I was lap times compared to the leaders, but I can say that while they still, the cars in front of me were still pulling away, they were not pulling away from me as quickly as they had in the past. So with that, we'll go ahead and start talking about what happened with, here's one of the notes, sorry about that. What happened throughout the day. So basically the story of the day, there weren't very many go-karts at the track. As I said in post-race video, we weren't expecting very many karts at the track with all the other races going on around. When I showed up, we planned on running Dakar. At the time that we showed up, we did not know, we were not aware of anybody else running Dakar. I already had the clone engine on it. We knew of two other clones that were racing, so we elected to keep the clone engine on it and go race clone. In the meantime, one other clone racer showed up, so there was 4 of us. For the heat races, for the first one I drew first. For the second one I drew third. So on the first one, when we started off, my time in the front was short-lived, and got sent to third place pretty quickly. Was able to hold on to third place, and I'll be honest with you, there's so much going on throughout the day, I really can't remember all the events that happened in that first heat race. I'm sure there was me spinning out once or twice, somebody else spinning out once or twice, but ultimately I finished that heat race in third place. For the second heat race, I started 3rd out of 4, and second place, he did spin out one point in time at the beginning, which allowed me to restart in 2nd place against the guy who was pretty much the fastest out of all of us. And pretty cool that I was able to start right on his back bumper, and on the restarts I was able to keep with him on the restarts, but then once we got into the turns, that's when he started pulling away. We'll talk a little bit about that here in a minute. But that told me that either one, I had the wrong gear on it, or 2, the motor definitely had some power to it, and I really think it was a combination of both. So ultimately I fell back to 3rd, ran that race 3rd, and then on the last lap, 2nd place, he had spun out in that treacherous turn 3, and I ended up finishing that heat race in 3rd spot. Excuse me, 2nd out of 4. For the mains, so I started the first main 3rd out of 4th, and I think that race pretty much ran caution free. And again, throughout that race, it was 15 laps, and pretty much throughout the whole race, I was keeping pace with the leaders. Up until about the end, they pulled about a straightaway ahead of me, and then in the last few laps, the leader really took off and then really started to pull away. But other than that, I was in sight with leaders pretty much the whole race. And the last race, I started 2nd out of 4, and again, I was able to hang with the leader on the starts. But soon after that, the 2nd fastest car out of the 4 of us, he would catch me and get passed by me. And then from that point, it was pretty much just hang on for about 20 laps, learning everything that I could learn during that 20 laps. And then with a few laps to go, 2nd place, he had spun out, and I got by him. Wasn't sure how close he was back behind me or how much he was closing in on me. And then we were catching a 4th place guy, getting ready to put him a lap down, and on the last lap, pulled it along his inside, and we were wheel to wheel going in that treacherous turn 3, and for a moment I thought this probably wasn't such a good idea right now, going into turn 3 side by side. And so I backed off a little bit early. We just barely touched, and I mean, when I say barely, I mean it was just a little bit of a tap. I don't even think I got a mark on the go-kart. Got a mark on the tire, but that's about it. And then he went up the track, and then I ended up finished that race 2nd out of 4. But I felt like I had to put it in there. I had to take that chance, because again, I didn't know how close the other guy was behind me, and I felt like if I backed off, it would have given him a chance to get back past me, and we would have lost 2nd place. I talked to the guy who we were lapping after the race. He said that he did go for a ride, but it was a learning lesson for him too. It was his first time racing ever, so he got some experience there of what to do when you're getting lapped and somebody's coming around to lap you. So we had a good laugh about it, good talk, no hard feelings. And again, overall, very challenging track. A lot of us spinning out throughout the day. Learned a lot about the go-kart. So we definitely, the goals met. We definitely learned our goals. Trying different things with the tires. I felt like I was able to read what the go-kart, the track was telling me, and adjust the tires to what the track was telling me. I was working with tire pressure. I felt like I knew what to do with the tires. I don't think I went in the right direction with the tires every time, but I think I knew what the alternative was. So that's kind of half the battle. Is I know what I did and maybe what I should have done instead of being completely lost in the sauce. So out of all that, oh, I'm getting a little lost in my own sauce here talking about the notes. So yeah, good driver feel of the track, feeling the go-kart and see what it needed. I need to do a little bit better pushing to limits. It's hard to push this thing to the edge. I need to do a little bit better with that. I need to do a little bit better with learning how to navigate those bumps. It seems like every track has some sort of big bump. I need to do better with learning how to navigate that. Again, reading the track and tire testing. So overall, the day was was a big positive. Again, like I said in the pre-race video, I didn't expect to go out there and go from running last to being the fastest go-kart on the track. I did expect to go out there and close that gap, and I think we definitely did that, and definitely moving in the right direction and something to build off, something to work with here. Looking forward to the next time we get ready to go race. It's going to be a few weeks, but we got a big race coming up, a VDK race in September. So looking forward to that one. Sorry, I got the wrong card there again. Yeah, so a whole lot to be proud of for this weekend. So again, I want to thank our sponsors, Kristen Murphy with Meraki Realty, brokered by Real, Jim's by Danny on eBay. I want to thank again everybody who came out to help us between the last race and this race. And if anybody's looking for any additional, or we are looking for additional sponsorship, so if anybody wants to get a little bit more exposure for their brand, hop on board. We'd be glad to help support your company and your business. And remember, when you put a sticker on our go-kart, you're not just putting a sticker on our go-kart, you're considered a member of our team. And last but not least, I want to thank Malou, again my wife, for filming this video and her continued support to help out the track. And please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, rate, share, all the above. And we'll see you guys in a few weeks for getting ready for our next race. Until then, take it easy.